About cataracts. Now, I have cataracts in both eyes. The one in the left hand side I can't see at all. My eye on the right side has about 40% loss of vision. That's also from a cataract. I just want to go through some of the investigations that happen, and you may notice that I do not have cloudy eyes, which means I've still got colour in my eyes, and it doesn't give a milky appearance. Now, some people, unfortunately, their cataracts go cloudy, which is a milky white film that goes over the lens, or actually it is the lens itself that clouds over. That, I suppose, is very much worse thing to happen, because it does affect how people look at you and how you regard yourself as the disability that is more noticeable. So I feel very much for those who do have the cloudiness in their lens. Now, I have put on a very short introduction to cataract issues in one of my other videos, but this one is more of a personal opinion as to how I've found the investigations to be, the limitations that are put on your life as in everyday happenings that you normally take for granted, emotionally as well, as to what stage the cataract was at, because there are certain stages that lead up to possible surgery to put in another lens. So it can take quite a few years for that to happen, or can be quite short. There is actually no time frame on this degradation. So you do have an intense screening, by which I mean there are certain machines that do certain things. Now, you can get drops put in your eyes, which means that within that half an hour period, it's suggested that you not go out in the sunlight or try and walk on your own, because you will be unsteady on your feet. Then they also measure by a puff of very quick air to test the eye for any other undiagnosed issues that may complicate the cataract surgery, if that is going to look like it's going to happen. So things like that can be daunting. And when I had mine, it took about 2 hours. It's a long investigation, lots of questions, lots of investigations into the back of the eyes, as well as how thick and how prominent the lens degradation is. So it is time consuming, and they also go through your other medical issues. So I advise that you take your medication list along with you when you go and have the investigations done. Now, should you need more intensive scanning of the eye, they will refer you to ophthalmologists who are private practice, which will mean that's a lot of money that you'll be paying out of your pocket. Or hopefully you can go to your local public hospital and have a referral there to their cataract clinic, and perhaps get yourself into a waiting list, and there you can have the more intensive scanning done for free. Now, this is what I've done. I am a pensioner. I'm 72. I do not have private health insurance. So what I was presented with was a wait of 2.5 to maybe 3 years before any action would be taken. So it is a long time to wait, but there are a lot of people who suffer the same issues of having cataracts. So we just have to accept what is given us, and I will just wait patiently and take my turn. Now, it is not uncommon for people with cataracts to fall both in the home and outside of the home, because we do not have the judgment or the dimension which comes quite naturally when you have good eyesight. But when you don't, your judgment is very low. So we fall, and this can cause serious problems because when we fall, we can just fall straight down onto the ground, which may be concrete, and do ourselves serious injury, because often or not, the people who have the cataracts are elderly, and therefore, because of their more frail bones or the loss of muscle that comes along with age, when you fall, it is far more dangerous and likely to cause damage. So that is one thing that we all fear. Getting on trams, buses, trains, if you have to step up or step off of any platform, is very difficult, because you cannot judge the height of the ledge that you're stepping off of or onto. And that's hard for people to understand, but it is something that complicates our life. As far as reading, I really can't read, so it's a matter of putting on the television and just seeing images and following stories, just like actually having a radio, but it's a TV and you can sort of slightly see the images, so it's better than sitting there with nothing you can do, because reading does become almost impossible unless you have a degree of eyesight that you can use a magnifying glass. I have the strength in my glasses at the highest point that I can. They cannot supply me glass lenses that are stronger than these. So if I do have to read something, and there are instances, especially with medication, that I have to make sure I'm taking the right medication, I will use a magnifying glass, which is a very strong strength magnifying glass. So that also stops, I suppose, a lot of interaction between people, because you don't go out to a restaurant or to your local shops and you're doing your shopping and you cannot read the labels. So it can be a surprising what you bring home as to what you thought you were purchasing, but never mind, we get over that. So you're not alone if you do have cataracts. It's just something that I think comes with age, but treatment is available if, now there are some reasons why they will not operate on your cataracts. And they are, if you have a terminal, and by that I do mean a terminal illness. If you are undergoing cancer treatment or immunotherapy, it can leave you immunosuppressed. So not only that, but your own self-well-being, you're not strong enough to cope with the convalescing that's necessary after you do have your cataracts removed. So that is one aspect. The other is if you are mentally challenged in that you don't understand the directions and you are fearful of perhaps people coming towards your eye and not being able to understand fully what they are going to do. That would be very difficult, and I think what would have to happen there is counselling, both for you and somebody to come in with you and help you through that interview, would be much more experienced in handling these circumstances where they wouldn't operate under that condition. So there we go. We just have to wait. If you can have yours done privately, well, that's a wonderful opportunity for you to have them done, and you don't have to go through the waiting for years and the cataracts progressing where it limits your quality of life. Because I've been unable now to drive for about 5 years. The fact that I really can't read is something that I truly miss, being an avid reader before it became too bad. So if you can still do all of these things, you've still got a hobby, you've got somebody to take you out of the house so that you're getting some fresh air and you're able to converse with people in the public arena and just enjoy a natural life, that's wonderful. I really can't do that. If I leave the house, I am so aware that I just can't see in the sun, I can't see with the dappled light. So I need somebody to be with me, and that can be very draining for people, that they have to look after you so intently. So it does have a lot of negativity with cataracts. So I will just leave you now just to absorb some of what I've said, and I hope that you cataracts are operated on soon and that your life gets back to a normal, healthy, reading life. So bye for now.